As I was driving through the woods, I stumbled upon a singing tree. Oh my goodness. Knowledge brings light, as singing tree lights your path. Come away with me on a journey of knowledge. Let me tell you a story from the green tales of Singing Tree. This is Africa. Hello, children all over the world. And hello to you too, dear Mumbi.
Great to be here with you too, Grandma Wura. And thank you for the tea. I feel like royalty, a queen, or maybe grandma, or maybe like you. I can't wait for today's green tale. What's it about, Grandma Wura?
Well, Your Majesty, today's green tale is about bush burning and how it affects our environment. So, sit tight and keep sipping on your cup of tea as I take you on a journey of knowledge. Shall I, Your Majesty?
Yes, carry on.
This is Africa.
Mr. Sade was a very well-known constructor who always helped build houses for the big chiefs and kings of little communities around his state. It looked like any ordinary job when Chief Kelani had hired him to build one more house in his village. And this, of course, Mr. Sade had accepted to do without giving it a second thought. Mr. Sade and his workers had arrived at the village, and to their surprise, everything seemed so ancient. Almost as if they had gone back in time. The houses were still made of mud and straw. Mr. Sade located the site immediately and got to work with his men. He cut down the trees and burned the bushes to ashes in order to prepare the site for construction. Some villagers had tried to stop these activities, telling Mr. Sade and his men that they were destroying some of the most powerful herbs in the village that grew on the land. But Mr. Sade paid no attention to them. He just continued his job.
Hey, what is that man doing? Don't take away our herbs. We need our herbs. You cannot own our herbs.
Spread the fire there and there too.
After the land had been cleared and they could finally begin construction work, Mr. Sade caught a little cold, which turned into a cough. And unexpectedly, before he knew what was going on, he fell very, very ill. As a result, some of his workers returned to the city. Now too weak to get any work done and too fragile to be moved out of the village to a hospital, which was 3 villages far away. The village's herbal doctor was called as an alternative to get help. On seeing Mr. Sade, the herbal doctor chuckled at first and then began to laugh uncontrollably at him. This confused Mr. Sade. The herbal doctor then angrily told him, without leaving anything out, that the main ingredient needed to make a healing potion for his illness was a plant which was one of the herbal plants he had burnt down in preparation of the site for construction. This plant was grown nowhere else in the village except at the construction site. Mr. Sade was devastated and felt very hopeless. He then asked if there were any other ways he could get the healing herbal plant. But the herbal doctor told him that there were no other places except someone was willing to help travel to one of the other villages that night. And this was going to be a day's journey. Sadly, none of Mr. Sade's remaining workers was willing to take that risk and travel in the middle of the night. Almost at the point of death and feeling his strength slowly slip away, that night he asked to be carried outside to get some fresh air. And as he lay down in the open field, he burst into tears. He felt very sad and very scared that he may never be well again. He regretted that he had burnt down the plants despite the warnings he was given. Suddenly, he felt a hand touch him. He tried to look, but his eyes were so blurry. Trying to open them up some more, he saw the beautiful green form of a lady. It was Singing Tree. She sang the most beautiful song he had ever heard. Then she said to him,
A hungry person would have to cook first to feed himself.
Then immediately she turned back into a tree and disappeared, leaving him with a glowing seed which appeared right on the ground in front of him as he lay there. He stretched to reach it, and as he held this glowing seed in his hand, he wondered in his heart what he was going to do with it. Then he decided he was going to plant it. And without wasting any further time, Mr. Sade dug his hand right into the earth and began to try to dig a hole very quickly. But his workers came to his aid and helped him. They watered the seed that night, and by the following day, when Mr. Sade checked on it, he was astonished at how much it had grown into a herbal plant. The herbal doctor was immediately sent for, and when he arrived, he was surprised to see Mr. Sade's new plant. He then asked questions about how the plant had gotten there. But Mr. Sade was too weak to even speak or even tell anyone about the green Singing Tree lady. For no one would believe his story. They would think he had suffered a high fever. The herbal doctor immediately got to work and created the needed medicine for Mr. Sade. In a few days, Mr. Sade had become so much stronger, and when he was fully recovered, he gave a public apology to the entire village and told them that he would plant more herbs and trees in the village as proof for how sorry he truly was. This he did by using his own very herb from Singing Tree to replant more herbs, while he also got more of the plants to be grown. Oh, when all of his other workers came back for work, they were shocked to see Mr. Sade back on his feet, active, as good as new, and sweating profusely. It soon became a known fact that whenever Mr. Sade carried out any construction project, he would plant various herbal plants around it including other beautiful flowers that reminded him of Singing Tree. And this always made all his construction look so very beautiful and very unique. The end.
This is Africa.
In today's Green Tale, we learned that bush burning is good for the environment when it's monitored, of course, because it kills insects and diseases, but it becomes dangerous when out of control. It spreads with the wind. The wind makes it so powerful, it's almost like watching a cat too. It just keeps spreading and spreading. It gets on the buildings. Oh no, the buildings. I'll see you on the next Green Tale. Bye-bye.
This is Africa.
This podcast series is supported by Africa No Filter in partnership with MasterCard Foundation.
Listen to the earth's cry to protect